Welcome to another edition of Points of Interest, brought to you by the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Paul Boucher. I'm the President and CEO of the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. And as we do each week, we bring you the activities and programs that are going on in the Upper Valley this coming week and have a guest. We have a special guest that comes and speaks on a particular topic. And this week, being no different, we have from Granite United Way, Suzanne Stofflet. And Susan will be talking to us about the exciting news that's going on with United Way in the Upper Valley, particularly this time of year. So as we begin, this week is a fairly quiet week. All of the concerts, as we mentioned, are pretty well done. The Monday night concerts and the Thursday night front porch series are done. But we still have the farmers market that's going on until maybe mid-October. On a weekly basis, and then they will move to a monthly at the Methodist Church here on School Street in Lebanon. So weekly until probably mid-October. And this is a time of year where all the produce is coming in, and somebody was telling me the other night of the fine foods that people are selling there also, cooking right there, and quite a variety. So people come to dinner and make their purchases, and there's always entertainment. And they have this week Tim Gershon, and he is original songs in classic acoustic tradition. So he'll be playing this coming Thursday at the Farmers Market. We have this coming Saturday, Good Vibrations it's called, and it's the North Country Chordsmen's annual show. The Country Chordsmen have been around over 30 years here in the Upper Valley, and they're very astute, very good, and keep improving every year. And the tickets are only $15 per seat, and it's going to be a great event again this year. I'd suggest, if you are interested, to call 448-0400 for tickets for that performance. The Citizens Bank has a home series that they sponsor in conjunction with the Lebanon Opera House. This is going to be the second season they do that, and the first performance is going to be on October 4th, a Thursday. Blues at Home it's called, Brooks Young Band, and the Joel Meeks Excuse is the name of the two groups they'll be performing. And the best part, it's a free event. And as I say, it's sponsored by both the Citizens Bank and the Lebanon Opera House. Free event for that concert. And then we have this week on Wednesday, this is an interesting program, The Secrets of Cellar Holes in Plainfield. This is run by the Williams Public Library in Plainfield. Scott Davison is going to discuss living a less complicated life by looking at old cellar holes and that provide a walk back in time. And I guess he's got quite a program, shows you some of the old cellar holes in the area and their history, you know, what was there originally. And so that is in Plainfield at the Phil Reed Memorial Library on Wednesday, beginning at 7 p.m., 7 to 9 p.m. Then we have on Thursday, Science Pub in Lebanon, and it's at the Salt Hill Pub, and it's local scientists and community members talk about the life of scientists and what the scientists actually did. And this is 5:30 to 7:30 at the Salt Hill Pub here on the mall here in Lebanon. And if you do want more information, you can call 646-0397. And then this Friday in Canaan, they're having a barbecue chicken and homemade pie sale, and that is from 4:30 p.m. on until everything runs out. And that is, they're going to give you 1/2 chicken plus a slice of pie, all for $6. And they suggest you call to reserve because they're going to run out. They know that. So if you get a reservation ahead, they're going to save it for you. 523-4262. That's at the Canaan at the United Methodist Church at 4:30 p.m. And then we're getting into the flu season, and they're going to have a flu clinic in Cornish. It's going to be at the town hall from 2 to 4 p.m. on Friday. And they suggest you wear a short sleeve shirt so it's easier to get the shot. They're going to be one again next week. There was one this past week in Lebanon at the Upper Valley Senior Center. And the only restriction is that you have to be 19 or older for the flu shot. And so that will probably follow through again next week for the flu shots at the Lebanon Senior Center. And then we expect to have quite a few visitors coming into the area again with the foliage season. We expect a great season in color. We had over 540,000 visitors that came to the state of New Hampshire for Labor Day weekend, the 3-day weekend, which is a little over half of the total population of the state of New Hampshire. So there's quite a few people that did come. They estimated spent $71.5 million in our economy. And of course the state benefits from that, from the rooms and meals tax, the gas tax, business profits tax, and so it flows down. So we welcome the visitors and hope they come back and see the foliage this fall. And then once that is done, we'll come back and do the ski season. So those are some of the activities that are going on in the Upper Valley for the next week or so. So we invite Suzanne Stofflet and invite her to this show, and thank you for being with us with Granite United Way. For years it was the Upper Valley United Way. Correct. When I was first involved. And tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. And
yeah. Well, I've lived here in the Upper Valley for 35 years, and most of that time I have been in the fundraising development field. Started out at Dartmouth, and as you know, they do a pretty good job of raising money there. And well, I left there with, I felt like I had a PhD in fundraising from Dartmouth. And what I did was I went out into the community of Vermont and New Hampshire, and mostly the Upper Valley, and tried to teach nonprofit organizations how to raise money that similar to the way that Dartmouth did it. And back then there were no professional organizations, there were no workshops on how to raise money, and so I found that it was a very needed service. And so that was a long time ago. There were still dinosaurs roaming the earth back then. And
your background as far as education in that area? Or
no, my college degree is in philosophy.
Oh, well, it may have helped a little bit.
Yeah.
And what school?
I went down in Baltimore, Goucher College in
Okay.
Baltimore. But I had I had a background in running my own business, and I had a background in working for a nonprofit. Well, it was a Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey, in Rutherford, New Jersey, where I was director of community affairs there. So if you add community public relations to business, you get fundraising.
You get fundraising, that, I'm sure.
And
yes.
so that's what has been my career, and I have helped quite a few organizations in the Upper Valley, and just a few highlights that when I met
You and I worked together on some.
I helped raise the money for the CCB, the building that
the brand
new
building,
yeah.
the CCBA or whatever they
Yep.
call it, the Kyle Witherall Center.
Yes, so there was money enough there for to build it, but not to furnish it, and so I worked with you and a bunch of other excellent folks to get it furnished, and we did that. And then I was the fundraiser when the Monchar Museum was built, and that was another wonderful project.
And then we did a little work for the Kilton Library too in the outset, and putting
Way back
names
then.
and when we first started the project there with the Kilton Library, that's the one I remember.
And
most.
then probably my proudest moment was being the fundraiser and even acting executive director at the Haven when the original new building was built.
Wow.
We went from the farmhouse to the $2.25 million building that I helped raise the money for that. And after I did that, I wanted to find a way to help to not work so much with individual organizations, but to maybe broaden the scope of what I did. And so I worked for the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation as senior senior philanthropic officer up here, and I was president of a foundation in Burlington for 4 years, and then I've come back here and I'm interim vice president for the United Way, which is what we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk
And
about.
so, sorry if that's a long
No,
way
that's
around,
just what we wanted to
but
hear as a background.
I'm you know, this way I'm able to help 40 grassroots organizations instead of just one at a time. And to me, that's the culmination of my work.
The history of United Way in the Upper Valley, we're
Yep.
into...
United Way in general is 125 years old.
Oh,
The Upper Valley United Way is 42 years old. And you and I both remember some of the great old executive directors.
starting with Pete Mason, who was
Pete
the first
Mason
one. Yeah,
and
then
Herb McKinney.
Yeah.
Yep. This is, excuse the walk down memory lane, but there's quite I'm following in the footsteps of some amazing people. And but there hasn't been a leader in a couple of years. And since the merger, one thing that happened 2 years ago was in order to have some economies of scale, and we became part of a larger organization. So we changed from being Upper Valley United Way to Granite United Way, which made us now one of 5 United Ways. We're the only one who incorporates Vermont.
Oh, yeah.
The rest are all New Hampshire based, but as you know, the Upper Valley is this collaboration on both sides of the river.
We run into that all the time in the tourism business. We say the river
Of
is not a boundary.
Of course not.
It's not a boundary.
And actually, in the Upper Valley region of the United Way here, we actually have twice as many Vermont towns as New Hampshire towns.
Wow.
We have 11 towns in New Hampshire and 23 or 24 towns, depending on how you're counting, in Vermont.
It seems that we hear about it here at the office all the time, that in addition to United Way, this time of year we seem to have a lot of capital campaigns. We know of 2 or maybe even 3 that are going on or will be kicking off very soon. Is that difficult in this market?
I mean, to compete
with those, yeah.
I'm hoping not.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think that the United Way is apples, and the capital campaign is oranges. And you know, an old fundraising phrase is that all boats rise on the same tide. Have I got that? Have you heard that?
Yes.
And people, if they understand about giving and charity and philanthropy, they will give what needs to be given.
Every year we always look forward to is the goal for United Way.
Yeah.
What is the goal this year, or has it been established?
It has been established.
Okay.
It's just a tad over $1 million.
Oh.
The actual number is $1,018,000.
Oh, just barely over. Okay.
Yep.
And it's doable. It
Yes.
has been done before.
Yes. And of course, one of my jobs is to do more and to maximize our resources here in the Upper Valley, because the Upper Valley is an unusual place in it's a caring community, and part of the reason I was hired was to make sure that we're doing everything we can. And I think in some ways it's quite remarkable that even through this recession, the United Way has been raising about $1 million, give or take, and I know how hard the staff works. The staff of, besides myself, 3.
Wow. Plus a slew of volunteers.
The key to everything is volunteers. There are hundreds of volunteers on both sides of the equation, money in, money out. And that's why we're able to operate with such a lean staff, is because the volunteers shoulder the responsibility both to bring the money in and to distribute the money, to give it out.
I'm glad you said that that particular with a limited staff.
Yeah.
And there's been questions about with the merger and that type of thing. Actually, it's been a cost-saving
Yes.
Process.
Yes, it has. Being able to have our payroll and our all of the back office administrative functions happen not here has been a significant cost savings. And the merger is only 2 years old, and we're still trying to maximize that and make a clear distinction between what is one size fits all and what's important to keep regional. Because for instance, one of the regions that is in the United Way is Berlin and Colebrook, that area of the country. Comparing the people and the needs of that region to the Upper Valley or to Manchester, that is kind of urban and Concord, we're all different. And so the internal challenge has been to recognize those differences and allow for them. But I'm happy to say that those bumps in the road are all inside. There's nothing, there's no problems in the way that we interact with the community.
Oh, excellent. And by reducing your costs, more of the money
We put out more
stays
money.
in the Upper Valley.
It well, all of the money,
stays there.
all of the money. So that's like my number one message is that the money that's raised here stays here, and we're able to keep more of it and have a lower overhead because of this collaboration among 5 United Ways. So it's good. It's a good thing.
How many agencies are you supporting? Actually, you just
Yeah.
programs.
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. A few years ago, we shifted from United Way agencies kind of being the same group of agencies who always got kind of a piece of the pie. And that was changed a number of years ago, and agencies now need to apply every year. But they don't apply as an agency, they apply as presenting a problem to a solution. And we give a grant for that and a grant for that. So last year, we had 41 organizations to which we gave 61 grants.
Wow.
So
So some had 2 programs. and
Yes,
such.
like for instance, just to give you an example, Grafton County Senior Citizens Council got 4 grants. They got one for aging services, one for something called Shore Core, and one for bone builders, people doing, and one for something called Service Link. So it's a way that we're trying to really refine the grant making. And this is all done, these decisions are done by volunteers, not staff, to just be scrupulous in what we do, because it's not our money. It's the community's money. We want to get the most economy for that.
When somebody is applying for a grant, I know some grants are for operating, others are for capital. Do you distinguish in the grant app?
Yes,
Both?
we don't fund capital.
You don't fund capital,
No.
okay.
We have 3 major areas that we fund, and that would be education, income, and health. Those are the 3 areas. And we don't fund, we don't fund the operating expenses for an agency, but we do fund the operating costs for a program
For a
of the
program.
agency. So we feel that is better targeting of this money that we have. We give to what I call grassroots programs. That every program we fund has a direct impact on some person in the Upper Valley. Some, I don't know a better term, but it's the end user.
The end user, yeah.
You know.
So if someone has a program they wanted funded, they got it funded last year, it was a success, they'd like to continue, they can reapply
Yes.
for the
Yes.
same program.
Absolutely.
And to continue that particular program because it's been successful.
That's right.
So they can do that. But for an agency, they need to know they have to reapply. It's not
They
an
do.
automatic.
No. No.
And then how, I know
And
working,
Just to interrupt,
Yeah.
and the agency, the people I've spoken to, they like that process because it's rigorous and they have to have their ducks in a row. And what they do for us, they can then use when they write other grants. So they have it. But they have to be financially meticulous in the use of their money, and they have to really line up with what they're saying.
I remember in the earlier days, both my wife and I participated on the allocations committee.
Yeah.
And that's when they would come in and make their presentation
Yes.
on their particular and the merits of theirs. Is that still going on
Yes.
today?
Yes, it is. They have to. We have as many as 40 people like you and your wife who come in, and they get on a team, and the teams are divided by income, health, and education. And they read all the grant proposals. Well, you know, you could say what you did, and then the
Put the whole pie together at the end. That's how the goal is eventually
Yes.
set after everybody's come in and made their ask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the people who volunteer and do that say it's a wonderful project. It's like mind-blowing.
It is, hearing of what's going on.
Yeah.
But the fun part, if you will, is, as I mentioned, is, okay, we've got 40 or 50 different grant applications.
Yeah.
And to come down to, okay, we can, or to come down to the bottom line, which is gonna be the goal of the campaign, that is really, that takes time. That takes more than one meeting.
Yes.
Well, when we
Yes.
sit down and do that.
And as you probably know, a lot of the people who've been on that community grant review committee end up then helping us raise money because they know how much more money what an impact that would have. And so that's.
This year particularly, and maybe last year too, I'm not aware of it, were there more grants because of the hurricane that we had a year ago? Were there some tied to
Yes,
that?
yes. Perfect question, though. One thing that happened last year that is something we were very happy to do, and it's an example of what we do in addition to collecting money and handing it out. Shortly after Irene hit, we convened a group of agencies who were going to have to do the work, like Cover and the Haven, SEVCA, the Southeastern Vermont Community Action Agency, and we gave them a grant of $25,000 and then later $50,000, and we invited the Vermont Community Foundation and New Hampshire Charitable Foundation to join us, and we essentially paid them to meet and paid them to work together and collaborate, and they formed Upper Valley Strong. And they were able to be more organized, identify the needs quicker and more effectively than we've been told than any other of the emergency groups throughout the state, and that we were kind of like the poster child for how to do it. And that is a beautiful use of United Way's resources to do that.
To do that.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, into one location. The Chamber participated last year in the Upper Valley Strong by sponsoring a Valentine's dance that we did at the Fireside Inn. And with the Lebanon Rotary Club that jumped in and helped us, the Fireside Inn, and the orchestra donated their time. We had a great time.
Yeah.
But we raised $4,000.
Yes. Yep.
for Upper Valley Strong, which helped in
Yeah.
their process.
Well, it's community. Really, United Way was founded on that premise, to mobilize to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of communities. And so that's a perfect example. Everybody pitched in.
And do their, and funneled it into one area. I'd rather
Yes.
have a shotgun where this
Yep.
was very well organized,
Yep.
and I
But
think it
we
was a
were
great
able to
place.
do
to
that.
put
We
it.
were ready.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could jump in.
So here we are at the mid to late September. We're ready to kick off, as you will,
Yep,
as we
yep.
say. And what's the plan for that?
The kickoff is right here when I'm speaking to you. But
Great.
so we're if you're watching this on Tuesday, I would say check your Valley News, because we have a 4-page insert that's going to appear in the Tuesday's Valley News, and it is kind of a handbook of the United Way and what we do, and how we do it, and what money we've given, and who are the volunteers. It's a lively and informative publication. So if you're watching this Tuesday, check today's Valley News. If you're watching this in the future, go back to that pile of papers that you've
Which I've read,
got
yes.
and haul it out there. So that's kind of the kickoff. You'll also, if you drive through Hanover, next week you'll see a banner about our Day of Caring. Now the Day of Caring, I guess, more than anything, would be a kickoff
The
activity, and it's happening on the Dartmouth College Green a week from Saturday. And we're hoping to break our record. Last year we had 200 volunteers going out, and or 250, and we're hoping for 300
this year.
year.
And they're going to the agencies, and I know a
Yes.
couple of us always end up at the daycare, the Upper Valley Child Care Center here on
Yep.
Mechanic Street,
Yep.
painting.
Yeah, it's all kinds of,
or raking, or I know Wise is looking for people who are going to do some landscaping work. I've looked at the list.
painting, gardening, weeding.
Weeding, that type, to help some of these agencies out where they
Yeah,
don't have the
yeah.
capacities to do that.
And if you want to sign up, please do go to the Granite United Way website, which is www.graniteuw.org, and you'll see volunteer. You'll have to navigate your way to our place to sign up to volunteer, but do that. And if you have any trouble,
Your phone
call
number,
us.
yes.
Yes, that's 603-298-8499, and whoever answers the phone will get you to the information
To the
you
information
need.
you need.
Yeah.
I do have to mention, though, the passing of Ben Lewis, who was the editor of the Valley News, who was a great supporter of the United Way, was president for a couple of years,
Uh-huh.
and really brought United Way to the fore. And so we will miss him in meetings and such, and he was such a quiet, calm fellow, and we got things done, so he will be sadly missed. Well, Susan, we thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome.
We wish you luck in your campaign.
Yes.
And hopefully, once the campaign is done, we'll have you back and we'll celebrate the
Yeah.
results.
Here, here.
So you're welcome back.
Thank you.
That is another edition of Points of Interest, brought to you by the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. And we'll have another exciting program again next week.